Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Off the Rail Sports Update. I hope you're having a great day, great week so far. A little blustery fall weather out there, but we're getting through it. We've enjoyed a great run of weather, so we deserve this. And what great weather we had going down to Lexington this past week. Thinking about going down again tomorrow, but I'm not sure yet. Off the Rail Sports, we had a great time down there in the bluegrass. It was gorgeous, blue skies every day. Enjoyed the trip. Obviously, went to Keeneland for 3 days, morning workouts, races, you name it. I put some videos up on my Instagram, Bert Beiswanger, and my Facebook page, Bert Beiswanger. And you can check those out if you'd like. But we really enjoyed a trip to Old Friends Farm, and that is in Georgetown, Kentucky. So just up north near Claiborne Farm, if you're familiar with that, Kentucky Horse Park. Sprawling acres of retired racehorses. So sprawling acres of land home to retired racehorses, thoroughbred aftercare. These folks are at the forefront of it. Founder Michael Blowen, he was a retired movie critic with the Boston Globe, and when he retired, he moved to Kentucky, and he started Old Friends. And so thoroughbred aftercare is a story that does not get told enough, but it is growing more and more, and Old Friends was at the forefront of that. If you tune in for the Breeders' Cup Championship races next weekend on NBC and USA Network, you will see a special on Old Friends. They were there. America's First Racing was there doing a special or recording for a special that will be aired during the Breeders' Cup. And we were in the background of some of the videos. So I told them if they were smart, they would, when they cut it up, keep that clip of the video with me in the background, because about the point I come into the frame is about the point I think the ratings would just shoot through the roof. But anyway, love it. They're doing some great things there. Former champions like Silver Charm, former champions there, but also just a slew of various kinds of racehorses. And that's their home. And so they take what they can get. They have a waiting list, but they do what they can. And there are other programs out there doing great things as well. So it's not just about racing. It's about what happens with these racehorses after their careers are over. So another great trip to Lexington, and I would like to squeeze another one in. I don't know if it's going to happen, running out of time, but we will see. All right, Pacers, NBA. We're off and running. The NBA started, and the Pacers kick off the season tomorrow at home versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's too soon. It still hurts. Too soon. We have to play the Thunder first game, and we don't have Halliburton. TJ McConnell is now hurt, so that depth at point guard is going to be a problem. I'm not sure what they're going to do. We seem to have the Pacers seem to have a logjam of players from shooting guard to small forward. So from that 6'5" to 6'8", 6'9" range player, they're good there. They're good there. The front court, no Miles Turner, so kind of think it's going to be a front court by committee for right now, and maybe throughout the season. I'm not sure, but I'm worried about the point guard position right now. Andrew Nembhard slides back to point guard. He had a really good year last year, starting as a two guard, and I think he benefited from that because that's his natural position. And anytime you can play two guard with Tyrese Halliburton as your point guard, you should be okay. And he was. But by necessity, and he can play point guard. He can play it. But by necessity, he's going to be the starting point guard now. And so we'll see how that all happens. I'm looking forward to the season. It's just, when you have a playoff run like they had last year, just that deep into the season, it's just crazy how all of a sudden it sneaks up on you, and here we are. But, it stinks. It stinks the way the season ended last year. I think the Pacers would have won a championship. I'm almost confident they would have won Game 7 the way Halliburton was playing. It stings that they didn't win Game 4. Still, I think about that Game 2. They gave that away. After they go up 3-1, series over, in my opinion. They rolled in Game 6. So, yeah, I think they would have won the championship in that form as well, but they didn't. And now you have to go an entire season without Tyrese Halliburton. And, these teams are put together in windows of time, right? You've got longer blocks of time for your key components. So like a 6 to 8 year maybe window, depending on how everything goes. But then you've got to build 2, 3, 4 years at a time, and that's a moving plan. And it just stinks because Halliburton being out, it affects that plan. And by the time he comes back, how is everything else going to look? How's Pascal Siakam going to look? We 33, 34 at that point? So we'll see. But it is what it is. This is a great organization. They find a way to do it all the time. And I think they're going to make this work as well. Aaron Nesmith just signed an extension, 2 years, $40 million on top of the current contract. So that 2 years, $40 million doesn't kick in until his current contract expires, which is an absolute bargain. His current contract is a bargain, and by the time this kicks in, I think it's still going to be a bargain. So we just get a great quality player in Aaron Nesmith, who just does so many things on both ends of the floor. We get him at a very valuable price, and that's what the Pacers front office does. I think a lot of these contracts that they've wrapped up, they're securing assets. So they're signing, the last couple of years, they've been signing everyone. Siakam, Nesmith, Nembhard, Toppin. I don't know that all these players are going to stay here the whole time. I think they're going to have to make some moves and maneuvers, but you have assets to work around and to play with. And so it helps with depth, and it also helps with trades that you may want to make down the road. So we'll see how that goes. The Colts, wow, what a performance on Sunday. Probably one of their better performances, if not their best performance of the year. I really was worried about this game going in. I thought the Chargers had a chance to win. I didn't step back to remind myself just how banged up the Chargers have been lately on the offensive line. They're two awesome offensive tackles, left and right tackle, have been out. They've been in a slide. They lost 3 in a row, and I think the only game they won before that was like a 2-point game against the Dolphins. So I don't know if I saw a blowout. I should have seen a blowout coming, but I thought this would be a tight game, and it wasn't. It wasn't. It was, to borrow a overused phrase out there today, it was a masterclass. It was a masterclass offensively and just across the board. Jonathan Taylor is, take quarterbacks out of it for a second. For all the MVP talk, it's always quarterbacks. Put Jonathan Taylor in there. He's phenomenal. And let's not forget the 40-yard, 45-yard, awesome TD run he had against the Rams that got called back because of the A.D. Mitchell hold. You throw that in there, that's another touchdown. That's another 45 yards. That's his probably best play of the year. And he just keeps rolling. 3 touchdowns on Sunday. So 6-1. They come home. They play the Titans. This should be a blowout. But it's the NFL. Weird things happen. However, I just don't see how the Colts are favored by 14. That's a lot. That's a lot in the NFL. 14 points. I don't know if I'm going to take that. But, yeah, we'll throw them in something else and tease it. But we're not going to take 14. 14 and a half. There's too many things that happen in the NFL that are goofy week to week. That can happen. And so yeah, we'll stay away from that one as well. IU continues the roll. I don't know where they're going to be challenged the rest of the season. It's just the Big Ten, you get past the top, and there's no depth there. It's a massive drop-off in the Big Ten. And that's just a fact. So, people come after me all the time, call me SEC homer and all that kind of stuff. I don't care. It's just a fact. The Big Ten drops off significantly. You do not have a week-to-week schedule in the Big Ten like you have the SEC. You have to get up for this game, and you have to get up for that game, and everything in between is, I wouldn't say a layup, but there is a lot of resistance out there. IU rolled Michigan State. I think they're going to continue rolling, although I will say, UCLA comes to town. They were a joke, right? They're a big reason why James Franklin's gone. Penn State lost to Northwestern after that, but they went to UCLA and lost to what people were deeming a horrific team, and they were to that point. But UCLA hasn't lost since then. 3 in a row. They just won at Maryland, and they're getting 25 points at Indiana. I'm taking it. I think IU wins. I think IU wins easily, but I'm 25 points. I will take that. It's a new UCLA team. That's the way I'm looking at them. New coach, fired the coach, new rejuvenated team, playing really well. I'm going to take the 25 points and UCLA, and that is not a knock against IU, so it's just a business decision, folks. It's just a business decision. All right, looking forward to the World Series that starts on Friday. I love the MLB playoffs. I was tailgating at Keeneland, and I was just talking to some guy, and he said the MLB playoffs are the most underrated playoffs, and I've said it many times. They are so fun to watch. That game the other night, Game 7, the Mariners at the Blue Jays. Blue Jays down 3-1. In the 7th inning, George Springer comes to the plate and hits a 3-run shot, puts the Jays up 4-3, and then the game ends with what arguably could and should be the MVP this year, Cal Raleigh. Ends with Cal Raleigh on deck, who had already hit a home run. 65 home runs on the season, including the postseason, 4 in the postseason, 61 in the regular season. And man, God, I didn't care who won that game. I think the Mariners are a great story. I think the Blue Jays are a great story. Mariners would have been fun to see their first World Series, but I would have loved to seen what is arguably the best, one of the best, certainly, players in MLB this year, Cal Raleigh, at the plate with a chance to tie it with a home run or not tie it with a home run. But we didn't get to see that. Still, it was a great game. Dodgers, Blue Jays, I think it's going to be a pretty good series. I mean, the Dodgers clearly, they are, I mean, it's almost not fair. But with the pitching staff that they have, they run out 3 guys. They run out three really, really tough guys, Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani, and on. Blake Snell. Sorry, I was having a brain fade on Blake Snell. It's crazy. Shohei Ohtani, 10 strikeouts the other night and 3 home runs. That is like, I mean, it just blows my mind. And we've been watching Showtime for quite a while now. There's years where this guy could win the MVP and the Cy Young. This best player of my generation, it's not even close. But when you can run Blake Snell out there and then you can follow that up with Shohei Ohtani and your pitcher's knocking 3 jacks, that's crazy. But I do like the Blue Jays. They are still without Bo Bichette, one of their best players. I don't think he's going to return. I mean, he hasn't returned by now, so I'm not 100% sure that they would put him on the roster anyway. He's been battling a knee injury, so that's huge. But Vlad Guerrero Jr. has stepped up and just been awesome. That team is really fun. And that stadium, Rogers Center, formerly known as Skydome, completely renovated. I love the atmosphere that comes through the TV when you're watching games there at Skydome, especially when the roof's open during the day. But we won't see that during the World Series because they'll all be night games. But nonetheless, place is rocking, will be rocking. And I think the Blue Jays can give them a series. I don't think they'll win, but I think they'll give them a series. So, all right, that's it for right now, folks. You have a great day. Get a leg up no matter what you're doing. And, we'll talk soon. Thank you.